Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Last Second Aaron Live. This is a part one of the Wraith of God Blood Hunters closeout show. Will I extend it? Will I not extend it? I'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to go all the way to midnight right now. This is kind of like an afternoon, a little snack. And then later tonight, maybe around 6 Pacific time, somewhere in that neighborhood, I'm going to go and go till midnight. And then we shall see what we shall see. You're probably wondering, you're probably saying, Aaron, why are you not watching college football? It's Saturday. Well, because my Nebraska Cornhuskers played last night and won. Yeah, it was a pretty ugly performance against Rutgers, but they still won. And at this point, I'm taking any win I can get. So, okay, enough about sports talk. I know I've already bored all of you that are here. So what's happening? Well, here's what's happening. I've got this campaign. I don't know if you're aware of it or not. It's called Wraith of God Blood Hunters. And as you can see, right here, right there, 13 hours left. What does that mean exactly? Well, it means the campaign is live for another 13 hours, and I can opt to extend it for another 30 days, which I'm not going to do. That's just too long and ridiculous. But I may extend it for a few days. I may not. We'll see how strong we close. Of course, then the campaign goes into in demand, which means it's open as a store more or less until I close it when the book is ready to ship. So I am sort of wanting everybody to kind of get in there and back early rather than later, but I understand that everybody's got their own situations. But I would encourage you to back today before we get to that midnight hour if you can, if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you so much for supporting the campaign. I greatly appreciate it. But that's what this is. It's kind of like an awareness Saturday. Make you aware of stuff you already know, but make you hyper aware of it. Let's refresh that and see if there's any action. Oh, look at that. Got a few more backers. That is the beauty of refreshing. Okay, so anyway, that's what's going on. In case you didn't know, if you're new to this, you've got 4 wonderful cover options to order from this book. You can get all 4. No one's saying you can't. In fact, I encourage it. But we got this wonderful painted Simon Bisley cover. Are you kidding me? Freaking awesome. I had to wait months to get it, but he delivered. And then, of course, we have the wonderful version that I did, the wraparound cover with all the brides of Dracula about to feast on the Wraith. Looks like Esther's in a little bit of trouble back there. Then we've got for you guys that are older and or more appreciate the classics, the Tales of Suspense, 1965 throwback cover, which is kind of promoting more or less the backup stories in this book, because there is the Wraith of God will be the main story. It's going to be 40, 45 pages, somewhere in that neighborhood. I keep like messing with the script, so I'm not 100% sure. And then there's a backup story with Garbage Man. It'll be 18 pages. I know that for certain. And then the Nightclub story, which will be 15 to 20 pages, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then there's now that we've hit the $100,000 mark, we are going to get 15 pages of Kit Carter. This is a 100-page book, you guys. 100 pages. You thought the last one was thick at 80? What was it? 84. This is going to be 100. So give or take a page. But so this is a great value at $25. And then of course we have our third cover option, which is the Tomb of Dracula #1 tribute cover. Which seems to be a fairly popular choice among those of you who have ordered. There's some great art by me and Gabe L. Tiabe. little preview art. And there's some preview art for the Garbage Man backup story featuring art by me and Dan Lawless doing the colors. Look at, there's a Garbage Man print you can get. It's limited edition, signed and numbered. You can get the Roughs Volume 2 book that has 48 pages of layouts and stuff from the Wraith of God Blood Hunters project. So you get to see behind the scenes and how I lay out pages and all that kind of stuff. You get the Merv the Astro Chimp trading card, also known as the Phil Diaz card. This is available to everybody who signed up early. You can get this sucker for free when you order.
For free?
For free. Shelly says it's for free, and if it's for free, she says it's free, it must be free. And I'm also going to put this up for sale for like $5 a piece. For those of you who didn't sign up early, for shame, but you still want the card, you can still get it. We got shirts. Look at that. We got a Dale Keown Bloody Werewolf shirt. That we're approaching. We're over 70 Dale Keown shirts sold at this point.
I love the blue.
Yeah, that is a really striking shirt. I don't know if I could wear it to church, but it's a nice looking shirt.
They'd be praying all over you.
That's right. If you go to a rock concert though, or a comic book store, there's your shirt.
Yeah.
Garbage Man, both green and white. And then, of course, the now classic Wraith of God T-shirt also available. Yep. And, of course, the Empire Comics baseball hat. We gotta move those.
Yeah.
We're going to be wearing them.
For sure. I'll never have to do my hair again.
Exactly.
Today.
I'm telling you right now, if you ordering the back issues from the original Wraith of God graphic novel, there's only
do it now.
There's only a couple of cover Bs left and about 20 cover C's with Esther's. The other two are sold out, so get on those now. Garbage Man still available. Power Cubed sold out at the moment. And then we have Wraith of God shot glass and the Garbage Man shot glass, both available, and those will ship as soon as the campaign goes in demand. We're going to ship those out to you guys right away and kind of get them off the board. So if you want those shot glasses, jump in there and order.
Too early to
today.
demo. Too early to demo today.
That's right. But maybe tomorrow night, Shelly might show you how to use one with a little bit of fireball.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Delicioso.
So anyway, we'll revisit this later. But the main reason we're here, actually, this is the main reason we're here. But the other main reason. Oh, now you look. Oh, look at you, he's half naked. Let's take a look at the crowd, shall we? See who's here. Leg Kick is here. Oh my gosh, Leg Kick, first one in the house. You get nothing for that, but we appreciate you being here. And we like to say that Leg Kick is here because he's almost always here. Horror Mike is here.
Ooh,
Killer Squid.
Killer Squid.
John Porton. John, do we know you?
Hello, my friends.
Well, hello to you. Thanks for joining us. Luke. Coral.
What?
Koralowitz. There it is. Luke Koralowitz art. Tarks 9, all the way from Canada, is here. Brian Suddenly Old is here.
Oh, I'm feeling it.
Oh, John Porton says he's moist with anticipation.
That's my least favorite word.
I do like it when you assign it to cake, though. If cake is moist, that's a good thing. Sequential Treasures. Post office claims the package I sent you arrived today. Perhaps we can open it later on your closeout put stream, or maybe we can save it till the to the 15th or whenever we do our next.
That would require you leaving the house today.
Yeah, probably not going to happen, but I'll pick it up on Monday. Thank you for letting me know, and thank you for whatever you sent me. Let's see here. Okay, Kevin Thomas is here. Marcus Killigrew, he loves sports talk. Well, you and me, and that's probably about it. I did actually go, Shelly. I did go to, they have a watch party place for Nebraska fans, and it's a bar / tavern / eatery. And I had some fish and chips. And I did actually, you know me, I'm a beer a year guy.
Yep.
I had a Corona with lime. I drank about half of it.
Oh,
Admittedly, I know, but I had a big glass of water to wash it down. So, Kevin Thomas says, "I did water chaser, exactly, a big glass of water." Hi, Shelly. Hope you're doing well. Says Kevin Thomas. Mike McMahon says, "I'll be pledging soon." All right, Mike, I'm going to hold you to that. Randy Howell with $2 Canadian. Thank you so much, Randy. Appreciate it. 100 is a lot of pages. It is a lot of pages, and I got to draw all of them. So I better get to work. Actually, I have been to work. I've got, I'm working on page 7 right now. So I am.
Ooh, I see Esther.
Yep, there she is. I don't know what he's saying that. Kevin Thomas, thanks. Tanya is coming and 5K subs will happen soon. Wow. You got 5,000 subs? You have more subs than me, buddy. I'm going to go to you and steal some of your audience. Let's see here. Okay. I think we got everybody. Neon Detective is here. Jonas Olsen. My goodness, if that is not I'm going to be careful here. If that's not a Norwegian type name, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
I assume by saying Norwegian, that includes Denmark, Sweden. Help me out here. There's some other ones up there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Finland. Finland. I didn't want to assign nationality to anybody because
oh my gosh,
might get a little ticked off at me. So, but it does sound
you're
Norwegian.
not even allowed to be dumb anymore.
No. Look at that. Brian Suddenly Old says, I am purchasing hats and shirts later tonight.
Booyah.
Excellent. Any thoughts on having an intro page with a story reminder and key elements from the previous issue? That's not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
I like that. I guess it's now 101 pages. That's actually a good idea.
Man.
Yeah, killer. That's a good idea.
You can't do odds, I thought.
No, I can't. They have to be divisible by 4.
That's a math problem.
I know. So 100 isn't really divisible by 4, is it? It is 25. Yeah. Okay. Don't. It's Saturday. My mind is relaxed.
Yes.
Look at Jonas Olsen says he's from Sweden.
Sweden.
There you go.
Love it.
Sweden. Like it. Clutch Boogie is here.
Clutch
just dropped
Boogie.
in. All right. I'm here to draw pictures and
draw some pictures.
as well as talk about the campaign, which I just did. And I'm also here to provide you guys with a public service announcement. That's Swedish for public service announcement. Yeah, and there's a little Halloween love for you from Frankenstein. Shelley's still laughing, so there you go.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well,
we got to sleep in today.
I got up at 7 o'clock to feed the dog, and then
Did you go back to bed?
Yeah, but by 8 I was up.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I know. Oh well, but there's nothing better in the morning than
orange whip, 3 orange whips.
I wanted 3 orange whips this morning. I didn't get 1.
You can get
actually.
1.
Well, I'm out of orange juice. I could have whipped up the orange juice.
True.
You know what I used to do
Tell
in
me.
my healthier days, and I was
Yes.
really pumping iron a lot. I would take orange juice and I would put an egg in it,
Ew.
whip it up,
Gross.
and it was all foamy and frothy.
Yeah.
And then
Gross.
delicioso.
That's disgusting.
So, and that was right after I drank it.
Oh my God.
What?
I know. It's like, what? What are
What?
you talking about? It's true. That's what I used to do. And I used to also,
Tell me.
okay, I would, and this is prior to age 30. So I would take, I'd make these milkshakes. Now, see, my mom, my 91-year-old mother, who's still with us and right over there watching, actually, she's playing video games right now. She's playing Call of Duty 4.
Right.
No, she's not. But she had this old milkshake maker, right? And
Yeah.
it was like green,
Right.
and had the
remember.
stirry thing on the bottom. You take the metal cup and put it, just exactly like that. So I would make these milkshakes, chocolate, of course, because there is no other flavor, and then pour a bunch of malt in there because I like malt.
Mhm.
You could
Malt
buy
liquor?
no,
Oh, not malt liquor?
no, just the
Oh.
malt. And so you'd get powdered malt, right? Pour it in there and then throw a couple eggs in there and mix that baby
that is
up.
Just not right.
Because I was trying to gain weight all the time I was lifting weights. Now, if I did that, it would be like
Bleh.
in
I'd
24
look at it and be
hours.
like, bleh.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not such a great
Oh, it's
thing
tied up
anymore.
now.
Yeah. Aaron, see them forearms together. Again, I've been posting a lot of quick draw videos recently. I've been taking a lot of heat for my werewolf arms, my hairy werewolf
Yeah,
arms.
better trim them.
I know it's full moon madness.
Maybe for closeout
It's
tonight.
full. Oh my gosh, did he catch that? Full moon.
Oh no.
It was such a great catch that
Apparently,
the TV
went out.
blacked out. So anyway, yeah,
Oh, there's a flag.
it's full moon madness, and but I am what I am. So there you have it.
By the
Um,
Sailor Man.
Was it the same ice cream machine we saw in Empire Strikes Back?
He got it. Oh, it got
Out of bounds.
out of bounds. Oh my gosh. Get a foot down. Get a foot. Get.
Definitely like the Marvel Classic cover and Simon Bisley plus wraparound cover. See, Tarks, you like them all. That's why you should get them all, which you probably did by now, I would guess, right? But if not, let me pressure you into it. Okay, Randy Howell says, hey, your last campaign hit 105,408 in the first 45 days before going in demand. You're 918 past that already in just 29 days. You are correct, sir. Thanks for pointing that out. We are doing well. This campaign is doing better than the last, and that's all you can hope for. Grow your audience. Oh, jeez.
What are you doing?
I don't know. No, I didn't eat anything. I haven't had anything to drink. I don't know. It's just the thing's what it is. Yeah. What's this? How about a Diablo sandwich and a Dr. Pepper? What the heck? Diablo, of course, is Spanish for the devil. So a devil sandwich, like deviled egg, deviled ham. You know that canned food? Shelly's crawling across the floor so you can't see her. Do you know that you used to get that, but like under, was it? What was the name of that stuff? They had the deviled ham in a can. It had the white wrapper on it. It had the little devil on it. I wanted to say Under Armour, but no, that's not it. It was under something, wasn't it? Underwear? No. Under there?
I don't even want to talk about it. I don't know what you're talking about.
You guys know what I'm talking about. And they also had chicken salad, which wasn't too bad, in a can and had a little devil on it. But the wrapper was yellow on those.
Oh.
What was it called?
Check the chat. They'll know. They always know.
Something, deviled ham, something. Yeah, that's what you do. You do good variant covers, and then it puts the pressure on you guys to get them all. It's just a sales ploy. I admit it openly.
But it's also, we now get to have a Bisley.
There it is. Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 comes through. Underwood deviled ham and chicken salad. Of course, because the chat knows everything.
No.
Vic is pushing corned beef hash. I'm not a big fan of that. I used to buy these cans when I was in college.
Yeah.
Because I had $20 a week to spend on food, and that was it. And Joe Biden's America, that won't even buy you a glass of water.
No.
But back then, so I would get this can of, it wasn't corned beef hash, it was roast or beef hash. So it was the same thing, but with beef instead of corned beef. And I liked it better.
Did you?
It was a big, like those Dinty Moore stew cans, it was about that size. Throw it in a frying pan, warm that sucker up, and there's your dinner.
There's your $1.50 dinner.
That's right. That's exactly right. I used to take a calculator with me going to the grocery store and to add up so I make sure I didn't go over 20 because I literally did not have anything more than that. I mean, it was poverty stricken. It was fantastic.
Brutal.
Yep. Well, it's college for you.
Yep.
Somebody says it's from Smokey and the Bandit. I have no idea what you're talking about. Although I do know the movie.
You have to go up a little bit then. All right, Husker.
Vic says, why don't you enter the Masters Mr. Olympia against Lee Labrada and Rich Gasperi? Yeah.
I'm leaving on that one.
Now, you might have talked me into it 20 some years ago, but then I wouldn't have been a senior. So I will say this though. I'm now a year and a half post shoulder surgery, and it's actually starting to feel a little bit better. Like I actually feel like maybe I could do some stuff. I've been doing some push-ups and things like that, but not any like serious lifting. But I'm kind of feeling like maybe it's getting better. I don't know. Brian Suddenly Old says headphones and a neck pillow in place. I'm ready for the draw stream, but I can't ensure I'll stay awake. That's what I'm here for. I am here to put you guys to sleep. Oh my goodness. Chief Justice Optipops says ramen is now the poor man's food. I know I get quite a lot of it. I've got ramen. I actually still like ramen. I really do. I mean, it's like, cheap noodle dish. I mean, I just love it. Well, best food that isn't probably good for you? Scrapple. I haven't even heard of that. It sounds like a cold cereal, children's cereal or something. I don't know. See, Marcus Kilger is making excuses. I can't do push-ups from a couple of wrist injuries. Yeah. No, I know. It's Vic says, wuss, you actually had surgery on that? Mine healed after a month of doing nothing. I spent months doing nothing and it didn't help. No, the doctor told me, he said, if you don't get that fixed, he goes, you're going to be looking at shoulder replacement at some point. And it's like, when you start replacing stuff in your body with like metal and things, it's like, yeah, I don't want to go down that road. I mean, that's like you're practically saying, make me a cyborg. No, I'm not going to do it. All right, let's draw. Now I have a bit of a problem. We're going to use the Blick paper. It's actually pretty good paper. I have no rhyme or reason why I choose any particular brand of paper until it gives me a reason to, unless I buy a brand and it's really bad. I did live streams where I drew the Kit Carter trading card. I don't like it. And then I drew the Garbage Man trading card, and I don't like that either. So, and here's the amazing thing. If you're the person that bought the Ruffs perk, where you get all the original art Ruffs that I did for the entire campaign, you're going to get both of these because I'm not going to use these. So they would be considered throwaways or Ruffs. And so the heck with you all. All right, so we're gonna try and reformulate this Kit Carter a little bit. I just felt like I don't know, the pose was just, I just don't know, but it wasn't singing to me. So I'm gonna try this and see if this works. I'm not going to guarantee that I'm gonna keep this one either. Kit's got that bouncy kind of short do that all kind of sits up there. I don't even know if you could possibly do your hair like that, but now, as you'll see, here's your little lesson for today. You do your egg-shaped head, correct? Right? And then I go in here and I always do that little cross there, so I know where the center of her head is, the flow of the center of her head, and then where the eye lines should be. That's what those lines are for. It doesn't necessarily always mean that's exactly where I keep them, but it's a guide. Like they always say about the comic book price guide, it's a guide. It's not like, a written law, it's the guide. Somebody's doing something out in the hall. I can hear it beeping. Okay, so we just kind of want to get things in place. I'm going to go in and do a more, use a finer pencil to do the details here. But I'm just going to kind of, wait a minute, I think this goes over here. Holy crap, I don't even know how to draw my own characters. Are you kidding me? It is funny, if you don't draw something for a while, even if it's your own thing, you're kind of like, You know, I hardly ever draw brunettes. And I am one. I married one. I got no problem against like real life brunettes, but when I'm like doing something for, comics or color, blondes and redheads are it's just like more colorful. Brown is so, you can do an auburn color. That's kind of nice. It's got some red in it, but That's probably too big, but perhaps more like that is what we're looking for. That's probably better. I've always got this little kind of oval vent right here. I'm not really sure what it is. Is that maybe where her she was talking? And then you got this little thing up here, which is kind of, I guess, would an antenna that would pick up, you know, if she was in conversation with someone in another space helmet or perhaps on the ship, it would pump it in there, I guess. I mean, let's face it, this is not exactly NASA science we're dealing with here. Oh, look, my dog's barking. Shocker. Let's see. Do I want that? I don't know if I want that arm to cross her body or not. I don't know. I'm kind of tempted here. I wonder if I bring this leg out, bring this one down. Okay, now I'm on to something. All right, I think I will. If we have her holding her gun up here like this. Yeah. See, I kind of like this, but I kind of like the other one too, and then I changed my mind. And eventually I'll have to settle on something, but kind of like this. I kind of like that. All right, we'll go with that. Give her a little bit of... I mean, admittedly, I do use this pose a lot, but I like it because it's curvy and hippie. And I don't mean hippie like, you know, Woodstock. I mean, she has hips. I don't really do the thunder thighs, though, like Frank Cho does. So she's got a little pouch here. And this is the thing her gun goes in, is here. Her laser pistol or whatever. She's got a belt. See, I'm remembering all this stuff now. She's got a belt here because she has her air tank thing. And this has to... you know, like a scuba tank or something has to connect like that. So then over here, she's got her oxygen tube. I'm told that you have to have oxygen in space to breathe because there isn't any out there. So we got that going on, which is nice. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Oh, you know what I'll do this. Maybe I'll do this. Yeah, I'll do that. The key when you draw like I do, where you just kind of like meander your way into a figure, you got to draw light because you're probably going to do a bit of erasing along the way, and you don't want to, you know, push so hard that you're damaging your paper. Yeah, let's see, where are we at here on the... I am way behind on the chat because, well, quite frankly, I've been drawing. Vic says, did you ever meet Kim Jong-gi? No, I did not. I, of course, am familiar with his work. What a tragedy. Man. 48 years old, 47 years old, whatever he was. That's just crazy. It looked like he was healthy too. I'm not gonna say that anything that may have caused his premature death. You can all guess probably what's on a lot of people's minds, but that's really unfortunate. Okay. Oh, see, now people are going after Marcus Killigrew. Marcus, one of my wrists was broken in the 6th grade, and I still do push-ups. I broke my wrist in 4th grade. I broke my upper arm in 6th grade. That had to have surgery. And then I broke it again. Let me take that back. I broke it in 6th grade, didn't require surgery. Then I broke it my sophomore year in high school, and it did require surgery because I had some bone cysts in my bones, like hollow spots in your bone. So they were just like paper thin, just waiting to break. I was like Mr. Glass from, whatever that movie was, M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong's movie. Okay, Sequential Treasure is going to explain to us what scrapple is. Also known by the Pennsylvania Dutch name as panhas, is traditionally a mush of pork scraps and trimmings combined with cornmeal and wheat flour, often buckwheat flour and spices. It sounds like heartburn written all over it, but it sounds like it actually could be good. James, what are you doing with the sketches? Are they all going to be trading cards? Well, I think I probably answered that. Yeah, this is the trading card. This is the trading card, unless I change my mind again. This is the trading card that's going to be that you guys will all get for free for backing. That's a stretch goal. And so is the Garbage Man, Garbage Man one, which I'm going to restructure here in a minute as well. Old Man says, gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. We have the capability to build the world's first bionic man. Aaron Lopresti will be that man, better than he was before. Better, stronger, faster. Of course, he's referring to Lee Majors is the $6 Million Man, one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. Yeah, could you imagine being able to run 60 miles an hour? I could, you get some places. Vic, I make me pork sandwiches. That sounds very cavemanish of you. I make me pork sandwich. Mine hurts for no reason, but it was from kids stomping on it. Oh my gosh. All right. Good thing Gabe isn't here to debate me on this. Aaron, do you think drawing is a mental thing or dexterity? Like if they put your brain in a Filipino's body, can you imagine the god of drawing would? I think you're born with ability, and everybody has kind of different aptitudes and abilities. I think how we, as much as you practice, you're gonna have varying differences between people's ability in the same thing. Now, Gabe would disagree with me, but since he's not here, I can say whatever I want. And well, actually, I could say whatever I want anyway. I just don't have to worry about arguing with him. Because there is a real trick, and I don't like that, to seeing something in your mind's eye and then getting your hand to replicate it with a pencil on the page. It's and I think people see things differently and they translate things differently. And it's those unique individual properties that you bring to a drawing that makes your stuff maybe more interesting, or as we would say in the business, better than somebody else's. Now, of course, better is a relative. That's kind of too scary of a hand. Better is relative, right? So let's just say some people have more appeal or more zeal to their stylistic interpretations, which then makes them more popular. It's not really a question of being better, but it is a question of being more interesting, more unique. The combination of any of those things will make someone a better or more successful artist. And successful, I mean monetarily speaking. I'm not, there's of course many levels of success as well, depending on how you want to define it. But I do believe that people have different levels of talent, and then you have to work your butt off to bring that talent to its fruition. Like I draw completely different than Arthur Adams. Now, is Arthur Adams a better artist than me, or is he just a more popular artist than me? Right. So it's how do you define better? I would say he's better because he's more popular. But that doesn't like necessarily hurt my feelings or anything. It's just the way it is. But the style you bring to something really helps to define your success in this industry. And anyway, there we go. This arm looks a little longer. It's a little bit, the perspective here is a little bit off because of the camera angle. Let's see here. Jimmy says, Aaron, can I get a scan of this or a Wraith of God sketch? I want to ink you. Yeah, you're going to have to contact me like through private message or something because I'll forget. But yeah, I can send you something. Blacklist Universe, Jabbity Jab Jab. He knows what I'm talking about. That, of course, is Mike Miller. Aardvark. Back Aquila, in demand on Indiegogo. There it is. You heard him tell you to do it, so go check that out. Aardvark. Speaking of checking things out, this is kind of a, what should we call it? A beginning of a closeout stream, part 1 or something. Kind of an afternoon soiree. Let's see if I suckered anybody. Enticed anybody to back. Oh, we did. Look at that. Yay. We're at 1509 backers. Thank you guys so much. We're at 106.4. I would really like to get 110 before midnight tonight. I'd feel pretty comfortable. But we will check on that later. Again, thank you. I appreciate it very much. Let me push that. And back to Kit Carter. Let's see here. I shared the stream on Twitter, and you should share too. Yeah, I'm too lazy. But thank you, though. Jordan Horst is on my side. The existence of learning disabilities proves Gabe's wrong. I've worked with kids who know no matter how much they practice, they'll never be as good as someone with a gift. Yeah, well, I think Gabe thinks, I don't want to speak for him, but I think he believes that it sort of undermines the idea that that if you work hard, you can be anything or achieve anything. You can achieve a lot, but you can't. I believe telling someone that you can do anything, you can be president, well, that's not really true. Because there's a lot of things that go into that you don't have control over. But hard work does get a lot accomplished. And you can make some things happen through hard work. What you can't control, though, is how good you are, or how well, let me rephrase that, how well you're received by an audience. Like, you can say, I'm going to be a film director. John Landis did this. I don't think he's the most talented film director in the world, but he worked super hard to get an opportunity. Made a lot of sacrifices, and you can say what you want about, of course, the Vic Morrow thing, but he made a lot of sacrifices, took a lot of chances to get himself in a position where he could direct a film, and he did. Now, so he made something happen through hard work and perseverance. But the question is, at that point, how talented are you? How good at your craft are you? And I think that's where people separate themselves. That's where Spielberg suddenly becomes a better filmmaker than a lot of people because of his talent, his visual acumen, how he visually puts a story together. All these things, those are all, in my opinion, individual characteristics that you're born with, aptitudes that you're born with, and then you work hard to develop those. But it's no guarantee of success. All right. I like this better than the other one. So she has this little thing here that's got like kind of this, just going to indicate that for the time being. I don't know. I'm still not in love with this hand. Hands are a pain in the butt. There we go. Maybe that's what I want to do. One thing you have to be careful about is I'm constantly drawing similar poses and stuff because you find something that you like the look of and then you just keep doing it because it's like, well, this is the optimal hand position for this pose. So then every time you draw someone in a similar pose, they always have the same hand position or whatever. And you got to be careful not to let this stuff like totally dictate your thought process all the time, because then you end up basically drawing the same drawing all the time. But it's kind of funny. I was talking to a fellow artist at CrossGen, and I don't know if I should say who, because I don't know if people want their any sort of quote or anything assessed to them without their permission. So maybe what I'll say is, I was speaking to an accomplished artist. We were kind of joking about, drawing pretty face, female pretty face, right? And, everybody says, oh, you want your characters to look unique and different, right? So no two characters look alike, right? But we were kind of joking, saying, we spend years trying to figure out the perfect pretty face for a girl. Right? And you finally get it. And it's like, you want to use it over and over and over again. And then that's when your women and everything start looking the same. Which I think we're probably all guilty of that to a certain extent, unless we're using a specific model. But because if you come with the ultimate pretty face, then you're kind of like, well, anything I draw different from this is going to be not as pretty. So it is kind of an interesting dilemma. Drawing eyes the same way, drawing noses. Oh, that's a pretty nose. I mean, guys, you can get away with it because guys, we're not as, when you're drawing guys, you got the handsome guy, right? And there's kind of the handsome guy face. But then a lot of your supporting characters can be really kind of weird looking dudes. And so you have a lot of leeway. I mean, you could do the same thing with women, but I'm just saying it's hard to get that out of your mind that, oh yeah, this is my pretty girl face and I'm going to use it all the time. Rather than trying to develop other pretty girl faces that may not quite be as successful as the ultimate pretty girl face that you came up with. So what am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just talking while I'm drawing. Feel free to ignore everything I say, except when I say back Wraith of God, Blood Hunters. Do not ignore that. Now Shelly's running around playing with the dog. I got to be careful the boo font doesn't get too boofy up here. I don't want it to get too big. I got to admit, I don't really enjoy. That would be Shelly playing with the dog in the hall. So. Hey, trying to do a show in here.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Was that loud?
It was pretty loud. I don't like doing these because you guys get to see me make all these mistakes, and you have to create the illusion that, oh yeah, I just kind of, I'm such a major talent that I just lay this stuff down and it works perfectly. Yeah, no. It's a grind, man. Even doing it as long as I have, it's a grind. That's a pretty good face, though, right there. That's a pretty good face. And I'm going to celebrate it in its goodiness. Look at that. So I think this is a better card. What is that?
This is a cardboard box.
I know, but what was in that cardboard box?
Clothes.
Oh, okay. See, this is fine. I mean, that's a pretty face and everything. I just don't like the pose. It's just kind of awkward to me. This is a little bit more
Posy.
And fun. So we're gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with this, and unless I change my mind again,
Which you might do. I've seen him draw an entire page, get done and go, nah, and then do it over.
it has happened, and it probably will happen again.
Whew, got my cup of coffee. It's only almost 1 o'clock, you know.
Well, you got here just in time.
I did.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just
No, I wasn't playing with a puppet. You can hear me that loud in here?
yes.
Playing with the
You
dog.
got this big old microphone sitting right there. It picks up everything. You hear the kids outside.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay, so there it is. And we're gonna do maybe we'll do a little planetary background action in here. Maybe
Some Kirby Crackle?
Maybe
Ooh.
would be good, wouldn't it?
So,
Kirby Crackle.
This single thing I know.
She knows Kirby Crackle.
I do.
That sounds like a topic for Shelly Knows.
Mm-mm.
Shelly knows Kirby Crackle.
I only know the words.
Oh. Okay, so anyway, there we go. I think that's, obviously it's not finished, but it's finished enough for our purposes here because now we want to move on and redo that Garbage Man card.
What?
I'm telling you, it's just how it is, Shelly. Don't like it. I must
Well,
like
at least
it.
everybody, like, okay, you're not just doing this for the show. This is what he does. And you'll find, like, all these versions of.
It's true. And, as I said earlier, the person that backed the roughs and layouts perk, original art, they get all these roughs. Like, they'll get that Kit Carter. They'll get this Garbage Man because they're all part of the campaign.
Wow.
And, so they won't get this. Now, see, if this is the finished card art, which I'm kind of feeling it's going to be. When I ink this and color it, this is going to go up on the campaign page for sale.
Booyah.
There you go. But this rejected card sketch, this will go to the guy who bought the
I like
perk.
that, though.
That's not bad, but I don't know.
Her boobage is really standing out.
Well, that's always a thing.
That's always a thing.
Okay, so let's here's what I kind of want to do with Garbage Man. I got kind of an idea.
What do you want to do?
I want to do this.
Pork chop sandwiches. What?
No, hold on.
Oh, I love the chat so much. That's why I tell you this is my favorite thing.
A little bit more dynamism. Is that right?
Dynamic.
Dynamism, wouldn't it?
You're asking me?
Yeah, I know, but
is Cordrath still growing?
Pardon me.
Cordrath.
What about him?
Is it still growing? We should check his campaign.
Oh yeah, he's doing fine. He's pushing 60, I think, right now.
Nice.
I don't have to look at the chat. You're looking at the chat.
I'm looking at it. Ooh, Cicerone, I completely agree. Natural talent has a ceiling.
I agree too.
Or someone who has talent and great work ethic has no ceiling. I am that. Well, okay.
Well,
the ceiling hit me hard.
Here we go. The debate continues. You have a ceiling. Your ceiling is whatever your gifts are. Whatever they allow you to achieve. The thing is, none of us know what that ceiling is. That's why we continue to work. And maybe you never will hit it. That's why you continue to work hard.
I see it all the time in teaching. I've never had to do homework before. Well, aren't you lucky that was your natural talent? But now you have to, because there's a ceiling somewhere. And I always tell the kids that have to work super, super hard, this will pay off better for you in the long run if you're used to working hard. I've always had to work hard.
Yes.
I mean, I did good in school, and then sports was, I worked really hard
Yeah.
to get where I got.
You. Here's a perfect example. Okay, Shelly, you're what, 5'6"?
5'6".
Okay, you were an outside hitter in volleyball.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody that watches volleyball knows that outside hitters are generally in that 6'2" range now or more.
Well, now.
Maybe not back then, but still, that was still small for an outside hitter. But you could jump. Okay. So were you all league in high school?
No.
Okay. So you went to junior college, right?
Well, I was like honorable mention maybe or something.
Okay. But so you end up going to junior college where you achieved what? All
There was all
region?
conference.
All
Only
conference?
freshman that was first team all conference.
There you go. Through hard work and maximizing what abilities you had.
Yep.
You then tried out at Oregon State, made the team.
Yep.
But you weren't a star or anything like that.
Nope.
So you maximized your potential to get you as far as you could get physically before you started breaking down
Before I was broken.
and then said, "You can't do this anymore."
Yes.
But there was other girls born with more athleticism than you were.
Yeah.
And probably some height advantage and other things like that. They were able to maximize and maybe more.
My first coach at Oregon State maybe it was the second one. I don't know. But he made tryouts so hellish that girls just walked off. Just left. Gave up scholarships and everything because they just didn't want to work that hard. And I was just dumb enough to keep going. So
I mean, you can make things happen
Mhm.
by hard work, but the
Right.
level of success you have is, I think, as I said earlier when you weren't here, I think that's more determined by your abilities.
Yeah, if I didn't have some ability, it wouldn't have mattered how hard I worked.
Right. And if you weren't Garbage Man, it wouldn't matter how hard you worked, you'd still be stuck underground and wouldn't be able to push your way out through the soil.
Oh, me?
Yes.
I don't like dirt.
I mean, if you were like Barry.
Oh, replicant. Yep. So this is, thank you, Shelly, for hanging out with us idiots and 80s made consumer chat the other night. Oh my gosh, I laughed so hard. It was fun.
What are you on, like going into chats and stuff without my knowledge?
Well, if I go into YouTube and I see something's live, then I'll just pop in, see what they're doing. But that was so funny.
Okay, so look at this. This is okay.
Yes.
And
Okay.
he's breaking out of the ground, right?
Okay.
Maybe we'll get a little bit of his leg here as he's breaking out. Okay. Now tell me that's not better than this, which is just kind of lame, I think.
Oh, so that's like he's already out and he's reaching for you. This one is he's breaking out.
This is more dynamics, more interesting. I wonder if I move it fast enough, it'll turn into animation. No. Okay.
I might throw up. Sequential Treasure says that I'm chat jumping without Aaron's permission. Yeah, if I at night, if I'm like, okay, well, I'll see what's on YouTube. Anything interesting as I'm trying to convince myself to go to sleep.
No, this.
And if I see somebody I'm subscribed to and they're on live, then I'll just. Oh, Peyton! Oh, run, Peyton, run!
It's too late. No, but this example, the reason I brought it and said it like that, you want to, without me knowing about it, all this stuff. Shelly has her own
Watch yourself.
her own life on social media.
That's true.
And I don't know what she's saying or what she's doing 95% of the time. So when certain pros who will remain nameless accuse me of not having control of my wife,
Ooh, yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was.
I say that's
needs
true.
to learn to control his woman.
Yeah, I said I have no. I have cut the. There are no reins on this lady. She does her own thing.
Yep.
And as long as she does the laundry, I don't care.
There you go. Important things. Oh, question.
Yeah.
Are we making sock puppets tomorrow?
Don't give
I thought that was the
don't
thing.
give away the surprises. You mean sock account puppets?
Oh, I just thought it was sock puppets. I thought we were going to have craft hour.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what we're doing. We shall see.
You believe skill could be hypothetically transferred to someone else if you switched bodies. Isn't there something to be said for muscle memory? Of course there is.
Yeah, but it
But
still doesn't.
transferring bodies?
Right. Well, see, if you transfer body, then are you assuming that the person has a soul and you're transferring that soul into the new body?
I don't know. Mighty Joe.
Because you,
Confusing.
again, that's what comes into the play of what I was saying is, would I see something or I create something in my mind and then I extrapolate it.
Ooh, it's a big word.
Extrapolate it onto the paper. That sounds messy, but extrapolate it onto the paper with a pencil. My ability to take what's in my mind and get it on the paper to look a certain way is what gives my drawings a unique flavor that is my own.
And I can't even visualize. I see numbers and things, but I can't, like art-wise, I couldn't see something and then transfer it to paper.
Do you see dead people?
Not very often.
Good.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is an interesting discussion. That,
yeah.
If Gabe were here, he'd be getting all mad.
Well, he's passionate, that lad.
He's a passionate one.
I
think it's that Middle Eastern blood.
So Mighty Magic says, why not do a drawing of garbage reaching out to grab you or the camera? Is it supposed to be like he doesn't know there's a camera there? I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what this is. The old one was.
The old one?
He's kind of reaching out, isn't he? I mean,
true.
I just don't like it.
He's pointing.
He's going. He's giving you the finger. The index finger.
Yes.
Not the middle finger, because we don't do that.
We were trying to talk to my dad about how to use the computer. I think it was my dad. I can't remember now. It's like, Dad, you'll see it'll give you the finger. Do I give it back? Sure, Dad. That's what you want to do. Remember we had to have Josh help my mom once she was like 4. Did something on the computer for us or something.
Yeah.
Or I just put Josh on the phone.
Yeah, he could also, Josh was really good at putting together Transformers at a very young age. I could never figure it out.
Oh, the Beast Wars?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I could transform those things.
Yeah, you were good at it too. But
Yeah.
you guys are both like math people. That sort of, that analytical approach to things makes those,
Yeah. Oh,
easy. Not for
hot
me.
cup of coffee sounded so good, but I don't know why I thought, I'll take it into the studio.
And then turn the fan on.
And then turn the fan on and
ambient
sweat
noise.
all over the place. Nice.
Where's that?
Yeah, our son, oh my gosh. Beast War Transformers were.
Take down my
Oh.
magic whip.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Husker. Should we go play? Puppy. Let's go play. You better run. We're going to go play. You better run. You better run.
All right, this is just a more dynamic pose. It's going to be a better trading card. You're going to thank me for it. And I know what you're asking. You're saying, Aaron, okay, that's pretty cool, but is it going to be for sale? Heck yeah, it is. I sell everything. You guys know that. Just about everything. It's true. I'm like Samson. If I shaved my arm hair, I wouldn't be able to draw anymore. Look at that. Kevin Thomas. Well, that means you're about the same age as my son then. Oh, the pain. That's true. Okay, so I started watching, spoiler alert, plug your ears. I started watching like this review of Werewolf by Night, and they like showed a lot of stuff from it. And holy crap, there's, spoiler alert, plug your ears. Man-Thing is in that. And it was so cool. And as much as I hate Disney and I'm anti-Marvel at the moment, I've got to watch this show. Werewolf by Night and Man-Thing in the same thing. Are you kidding me? What can I say? I'm sorry, but I'm going to break down and do it. Anyway, so I was watching this and I was like, I could have stopped watching this because it's probably full of spoilers. Because maybe it was already a spoiler that Man-Thing was in there, but holy crap, it was so cool looking. So, I mean, it was CGI, but still. was better than the Man-Thing movie that was on, I think it premiered on the USA Network or something like that. Really horrible. But yeah, I really want to watch that Werewolf by Night. Joe Jesco said it was good, so. Yeah, I'll let you guys interpret that. Yeah, my son liked Bionicles too. It was like any of the Transformers stuff. It was like Bionicles. Beast Wars were his favorite though. He never was Transformers because I think Transformers were the original thing, and then they sort of evolved into Beast Wars and that type of stuff. So that's when he came in, because it was that Saturday morning. Well, it wasn't Saturday morning. We used to watch it before school, like 6 a.m. or whatever, that Beast Wars was on, and then we'd go to school. So he, loved that show. I was going to say cartoon, but it really wasn't a cartoon. It was a CGI show or CG show or whatever. Well, not CG. It wasn't Comicsgate, but it was, you know what I'm saying. Oh, you were mad about him appearing in there? Well, 40% Zed, Savage Tales #1 spiked a while ago. It is an expensive book now. I do have a near mint copy that I picked up at a convention some 20 years ago, 17 years ago, at a local show here in Portland. And the guy had it for, I don't know, 100. And I will never just say, if someone says, I want $100 for this, I'll go, I'll give you 90. I'm one of those type of people. If he had said it was 120, I'd say, I'll give you 100 for it, So, but anyway, I ended up offering him $90 for this. I think he wanted 100, maybe 110 or so. I can't remember exactly what the price was on it. And I said, I'll give you 90 for it. And the guy says in response to me, he was a young adult. He wasn't a kid. He was, in probably his 20s or maybe early 30s. And he said, and remember, when this came out, it was a 35-cent magazine, right? And because it came out in 1970 or 71. And he goes, $90? He goes, do you understand? My dad bought this off the rack and has had it for 30 years, whatever. And I said, well, if he bought it off the rack, he only paid 35 cents for it. So $90 is a pretty good deal. The guy took it. So I got it for $90, sitting over there in my closet with my collection. Of course, the reason we bring that up is, as 40% Zed well knows, that Savage Tales #1 is the very first appearance of Man-Thing. By artist Gray Morrow. I can't tell you off the top of my head who wrote it, but I do know Gray Morrow drew it. And it's interesting because if you go to, the second and third appearance of, getting a little geeky here, the second and third appearance of Man-Thing was in Astonishing Tales 12 and 13. Or was it 11 and 12? No, it was 12 and 13. And that's when they were doing Khazar stories in Astonishing Tales before Deathlock. And they had Khazar stories in there. And so Man-Thing guest starred in this Khazar story. Those were his next two appearances, right? His second and third appearances. Well, then I believe his fourth appearance, don't quote me on this, but his first solo story adventure was in Adventures into Fear number 10, and that was also drawn by Gray Morrow. However, the Khazar stories in Astonishing Tales were drawn by Big John Buscema. So there you go. That's your nerdy little comic information for today. I'm glad I was able to supply you with those needed tidbits of comic book nostalgia. I wonder if there'll ever be anybody nostalgic for this period of comics, or at least mainstream comics. I can't imagine it, but I know some of you guys are 90s kids, and I'll tell you, I was breaking into comics in the 90s, and it was an exciting time, even as an adult, to be involved in comics with what Image was doing, and the gigantic sales numbers, and it just seemed like it was the greatest thing in the world. Of course, all good things must come to an end, but so you've got. I was a '70s kid. A lot of you are probably '80s kids as well, and that was, of course, Claremont's X-Men and Burns' X-Men and Frank Miller coming into the scene and doing some really cool stuff in Daredevil and his Wolverine miniseries, and of course Dark Knight Returns. And so the 80s was a ton of, the Punisher was big. The 80s were a great decade of comics as well. 70s were retrospectively a cool decade, but they weren't, if you look back on it, there wasn't a ton of really cool stuff happening. I mean, there was in the early 70s, I guess, because we had Conan and Swamp Thing and things like that came about. But for pure superhero comics, the 80s is probably the decade. But I really wasn't paying much attention in the 80s because I was in college, and so I was kind of on the periphery watching things. And I would go into comic shops. I was in LA. I'd go to Golden Apple in Melrose and get my comic book fixes when I had any money to buy them, which was not very often. And then the 90s, of course, like I said, that's when I was breaking in professionally, and that was kind of a cool time. But after that, not so much. And there was some decent stuff, I guess, in the early 2000s. I mean, when I first went over to DC, and even actually when I was, cross-gen stuff had some pretty good stuff, and that was early 2000s. And then when I jumped over to Marvel, things were still okay over at Marvel. And then DC with Dan DiDio, things were still okay. The New 52, which some people like, some people hate. But that was more, to me, like I was really kind of settled in and working to make a living at that point. And so the fun of it wasn't quite as great as it was in the 90s when I was still trying to break in, or the 70s or 80s when you're growing up and reading that stuff. That is just a far superior pose right there for Garbage Man. The card is far superior. Well, Sven Svensson says all the best stuff happened in the 70s, and it's well, for me, the great thing about the 70s that I love so much about the 70s was the when, and I've actually done videos on this. I've actually bored Shelley to tears, and some of my audience too, with this. But when the 70s went, and comic artists tried to become sort of like fine artists, and it was mainly led by Wrightson and Barry Smith, Frazetta a little bit, and Kaluta and guys, the studio, Jeff Jones, those guys, where they were comic book artists. Although Jeff Jones, I wouldn't really consider too much of a comic book artist, but he did some comic book work. But he did a lot of, book covers and things like that. He was more doing illustration. But these guys were trying to become illustrators using comic book sensibilities, subject matter, to produce their own limited edition prints and portfolios. And I loved that period of time. As a young kid growing up and wanting to be an artist, and you could, and comic books are your favorite thing, but then you kind of see them become, I don't know, almost legitimized as an art form, really, at that period of time because of the work that guys like Wrightson and Barry Smith and Frazetta, and Neil Adams, of course. I know I'm forgetting people. Val Merrick was doing some cool stuff. Frank Bruner, there was a lot of guys doing cool stuff. And beyond just normal comic books. And it was an exciting time. We still had fanzines. We still had, the comic book buyer's guide was such a great thing. It lasted, into the 80s and into the 90s. But when it was like a newspaper, the comics buyer's guide, I mean, and it'd come out weekly, and it was like, as a kid, it was like your weekly comic book newspaper, and all the ads and stuff I mean, we didn't know what was coming out right from week to week, but you had the buyer's guide, and it would kind of give you information on that kind of stuff. And then if Wrightson did a new Frankenstein portfolio or something like that, that's where you found out about it, because that's where it was advertised. Because there really was no other place to get that information. There was no internet, and so yeah, I agree. I mean, 70s, like I said, I grew up in the 70s, so that of course is going to be my favorite memories of comics. But there was a lot of exciting stuff going on in the 80s as well. So. And into the early to mid 90s, had some fun stuff. So that was like 3 decades of really great comic stuff. And of course, those that were alive during the Silver Age and were like reading comics during the Silver Age, they probably would say that was the exciting time, because that's where all this stuff was being created. So there's a lot of great eras of comics. In fact, I did a video called the Comic Book Ages. And it's a short video, but you should check it out if you have not. And if you haven't liked and subscribed to this channel, I would appreciate it if you would do that. Liking the videos helps the channel grow, and subscribing helps the channel grow. So if you like drawing videos, I don't do any sort of current event type stuff. So I just do comic related stuff and art. So if you need to cleanse your palate from the news of the day, it's a good way to do it, is check out my YouTube channel. Figure out where I'll put my lighting source. Probably, let's see, if I do it this way, then I'm going to want to, maybe I should do it this way. I think I will. I think I'll do the lighting source this way. So if we have a full moon right there. So let's fix this. Like that. I always put these shadowing in on Garbage Man, but I never cover up his color spots. I was like, that was kind of like showing through. As I said I think on my last draw streams, I'm getting to a point where I don't really do finished pencils anymore, because I'm inking everything I'm doing. So I'm putting some extra detail in here. Let's get in here a little closer. Garbage Man has a lot of veins. Which doesn't really make any sense, because he's all like mud, dirt, and garbage and stuff. But it looks cool. Anyway, you can see the face there. Let me pull back out a little bit, give myself a little bit of room so I'm not knocking my head against the camera. Oh, let's take a quick look here and see what people are saying. Drew Carey made a joke about how when you turn 40, the hair slides off your head and onto your back. Aaron, did you ever try to model for Wrangler to go up against Rob Levi's with Spielberg to direct? Yeah, they didn't return my calls, though, so... I once got Batman #1, the EVS variant, for $5 on eBay because the lady listed in the wrong category and misspelled as Bamtan. Those are the great deals on eBay when you find someone who misspelled the title of the book, if you're lucky enough to find them. Sven says 70s was construction, 80s was deconstruction, 90s was waiting in the rubble. That's kind of funny. Although, what would you say the 60s was then? Wasn't that construction? I might throw off your whole timeline. Good thing Kid Carter has roller supply standing next to Garbage Man. Axe body spray can't mask the funk. That is so true. And I do make note of his unsightly odor on occasion in stories. So I don't neglect that. Ooh, I've been buying Rampaging Hulk and other Marvel titles. Love the art and covers are amazing from back in the day on eBay. Or back in the day, yes. Simonson did some work in there. And Dino, holy crap. All righty. Yeah, there you go. I used to save them. I had stacks of them. I don't have them anymore. I kind of wish I did because it's kind of fun to look back through the old newspapers and look at the ads and stuff and go, why didn't I buy that? Why didn't I buy that? Because I was a kid and I didn't have any money. That's why. Yeah, the comic shop news, but that's a more modern iteration of. I used to grab that out of the comic shop too, see what was coming. Yeah, of course, Starlin made his mark huge in the 70s. Now, I'm not sure what you're referring to here, American Comics Company. The censorship time of Dungeons & Dragons, Heavy Metal, and Mad things in general started to really kick up. I don't know what you mean by censorship time. Were there censorship problems with those magazines? Because I don't remember that being the case, but it's very possibly that it was true, and I just was unaware of it. Well, there you go. That's a deal right there. Okay, you went to SVA. We traipsed down to the Village to get comics. I stopped in the Village, the comic shop in the Village, one place when I was in New York really early on. When I was like trying to get work or had just started getting work. Now I think I was trying to get work, and I bought a Marvel feature #1, which features the first appearance of the Defenders in there. I still have it. You know, neither. I was never an X-Men guy. I was never a Teen Titans guy, but there was that great Simonson. Wasn't that like the first major crossover was X-Men with Teen Titans? The major Marvel DC crossover, I mean. Sven says all the best stuff happened in the set. Oh, we already revisited that. Mighty Joe, we're only really looking for artist editions. Those things are awesome. They really are. I've got a few of them. I've got the Dave Stevens one, which is the very first one they did. And I got Silver Surfer by Buscema. And then I got the Wrightson one. that recently came out. When I say recently, within the last couple of years. Okay, so if I'm understanding what you're saying those censorship spawned Mad Magazine, spawned. Okay, I understand what you're saying now. Heavy Metal and those other things, because they were able to do stuff in those magazines they couldn't do in the comics. Okay, yes, that I'm aware of. But I was thinking that Heavy Metal was getting censored or something, and I wasn't sure that I followed you exactly. I've been to Forbidden Planet once or twice. Is that in the Village? I'm not really, I'm not really sure. I am so directionally challenged that I go to New York. Every time I get off the subway, I have no freaking idea which direction I'm supposed to be going. It all looks the same to me. So I wouldn't be able to place, what was in the Village, what was in the, I know where the financial district is, and, down the waterfront there and all that kind of stuff. And I know Madison Square Garden area pretty well, because that's where we always stay when we went to the New York shows at the Javits Center. And I know how to get from there to what do you call that? Times Square. I know those, but then when you start getting, Midtown, Greenwich Village, Hell's Kitchen, I've got to have I could tell you where the Upper East Side and the Upper West Side was, because they're on either side of Central Park. And once you get to Central Park, I can kind of, but I need massive landmarks to be able to sort of figure out where I'm at. All right, let's look at a quick, if I may, a quick reminder of why we're all here today. Wraith of God Blood Hunters. We have 12 hours left until this baby closes out, unless I decide to extend it. And we're not going to find that out till late tonight. Well, let's see. Have I had any action? No action. How disappointing. That's okay, though. Actually, it isn't okay. I'm going to throw a fit. I just want to make you guys aware of it. If you haven't backed, I appreciate it if you do it today, if you can. For cover options, Bisley, me, the wraparound version, me, the Tales of Suspense version, or, of course, me, the Tomb of Dracula #1 tribute version. So we got a lot of great covers to choose from on this campaign. We've got colored pages. It'll be in full color. There's a little Garbage Man action for you. Some more Garbage Man print. Wraith of God Roughs. That's a good, if you want to get a good perk and you don't want to spend a ton of money. I mean, first of all, I would get the 3-pack plus, because you get all 3 covers plus the Garbage Man print that's signed and numbered. All these books will come signed. The books come signed when you buy them in multi-packs. If you buy them as single issues, they don't come signed. And then I would add on the Bisley cover. So I had all 4 Bisley covers plus this. That's why it's the featured perk. However, if you don't want to spend that much money, this Blood Hunters right here, this one right here, the Blood Hunters and the Roughs Volume 2 is a great deal. This Roughs book's only $15. And it has 48 pages. It'll have 48 pages of layouts, page layouts from the book. So you can kind of look at the process. It's really fun to be able to look at the layouts and then go look at the finished page and kind of see how it evolved. So that's really actually a pretty good thing right there. Both these come signed, and the Roughs is actually signed and numbered limited edition. So I'm not going to I don't overprint those, just enough to guard against damaged books. But So if like 300 people order this, that's the print run, signed and numbered 300. So this is limited. Of course, the comics all overprint on those, but eventually they sell out. As I'm getting close to selling out of the original graphic novel, we're already sold out of cover A, sold out of Dale's cover. I still have some of these left, but not very many of the 70s retro cover. I do have some of the Esther. But the funny thing is, the Dale is the rarest. Okay, I think there's only 400 copies of those were printed. The cover A has the most copies, and then B the second most, and Esther the third. Like there's only like 575 copies of this Esther cover. So you may say, I don't want to get stuck with the Esther cover, but from a collector standpoint, it's going to be more valuable than these two, probably. So, and they're still available. So there you go. Garbage Man trades are still available, but they're going fast as well. Power Cube is sold out for the time being. If I can get more, I'll let you know later on down the campaign. We still, of course, have shot glasses, and those will ship right when the campaign goes into demand, whenever that is. It won't be more than a couple of weeks from now. So at least you'll get some of your merchandise sooner than later. And the T-shirts, of course, they'll end sooner than the other thing, the books will, in the campaign. So I haven't put a deadline on the shirts yet, but I want to get those printed up in shirts and hats out sooner than the books as well. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about ordering. And now back to the drawing portion of our show. So this is all going to be shadowed in here. All right, we're going to have shading in here. This is going to be shaded in here. And down like that. I need to be more like Finch, and I need to put more blacks. I just spend all this time drawing stuff, and like I don't want to cover it up. But the blacks do such a wonderful job of creating volume on your drawing and giving it a three-dimensional quality, which is the most important thing to me personally. If you can give your drawing some, on a two-dimensional surface, you can give it some three-dimensional volume, that's a win. Sort of roughly indicating this because I am going to go in and finish it with a pen. And I think what I'll do is I'll do a live stream of me inking these. That'll give me something to live stream. Do some more veinage. And I also like to point out that, in my opinion, and I'm always right, except when I'm not, the way I like to do veins, if you take a look at what I'm doing here, you sort of indicate your light source, right? Which is coming down this way, right? So to get your veins to feel like they're underneath the skin, which is really what we want because that's what they are, they're underneath the skin. Okay, so you shade on one side. That's the side that, the shadow side from where the light's hitting. Where the light hits, you don't indicate that line. So in other words, I'm not doing this. Some people do this, and I don't like it because it looks flat and drawn on. It doesn't look like it's underneath the skin. This, however, when you only indicate one side with your shadows, makes the veins look like they're under the skin. Especially when you cross them like this. And I just think that's a much better look. Some people may disagree with me, and they would be wrong. So this is always how I sort of adopted doing veins. So there you go. It's your vein lesson for today. When you got veins curling all over the place, sometimes it's hard to determine which side is actually going to be the shadow side. A little bit tighter. So this in here is going to be all heavy shadowed. So I'm going to indicate both lines right here. When this is cutting through a shadow, there's really nothing you can do. You have to obviously show both sides of the vein. But then when it comes out of the shadow, you're back to only doing one side. It's just good, clean fun. See how that works? It's a little thick here, so yeah. That's just what I like to call good, clean monster fun. For kids of all ages, really. I also like to kind of break this up a little bit. Like if you indicate every single line on your musculature, sometimes it feels artificial. And I know that, some people, it's a stylistic thing, but for what I like to do is I like to break that up a little bit. So again, it feels like it's more natural and organic looking. Because your eye really connects these lines anyway. So I don't have to draw this line all the way up here and all the way up here to connect that, because we've already indicated that shape by using our shadows, right? And I love that this sort of kind of lumpiness, rather than just real straight, clean lines on something like, especially on something like this. I actually like it just on human figure work, period. Frazetta does a tremendous job of that, because you don't have these like super clean, sharp, hard edged lines on your figure. They're really bumpy. And if you can indicate some of that, I think, again, it helps give it a more realistic three-dimensional feel to it. And again, this is a stylistic preference, because there's guys like, Art Adams, does very hard-line, slick finishes in his drawings, and, they're fabulous. So it's not they're fabulous. It's not a hard, fast rule, but I can only tell you what I do and why I do it. See, and now you start to kind of get some volume here and some weight to this rather thick character. You know, I mean, you want it to feel massive. You want to feel the mass of Garbage Man. See, that looks pretty cool. And there's a sense of movement in it. There's a sense of weight to it that I think is better than we had before. And now I can just go crazy and put as much line work in there as I want, if I don't want. Marcus, you gotta bring stronger stuff than that. But we appreciate your effort. 90 minutes and no porn bots yet. It's a miracle. I know they're all watching college football. Now, I'm not changing my mind. I like this one. I can feel it, Mighty Joe. I can feel it. It feels right. I'm going to go with it. So what have we learned today? Well, we've learned that this and this are now our two new cards. That's what I think we've learned. I like it. I like it a lot, quite frankly. I think he can. Frazetta would have drawn his junk. Yeah, he would have. But you can make the argument that Garbage Man's junk is no longer there. But if it is, let's just say it is, I think some things are better left to the imagination. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to get any junk from me. All right. Okay, so we've been doing this an hour and a half, and that's a beautiful thing. But all good things must come to an end, at least temporarily. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go eat some lunch. But I will be back tonight. So keep your eyes open as we do a crazy late night closeout stream. And who knows, I might end up on someone else's channel. I have no concrete plans at this point, except that I will be on the air from about around 6-ish Pacific time. That's 9 o'clock Eastern until midnight, or 3 in the morning on the East Coast. But at least me, it'll just be midnight here in the Pacific. So you guys, thanks for joining me. We got 2 drawings out of the way. I think that's pretty remarkable, all things considered. Remember that the link to Wraith of God's Blood Hunters is in the description of this video. So you want to go check that out if you haven't done that yet. And please like and subscribe this video as my dog is just going ballistic downstairs. And I want to thank you guys all for joining me. I know Saturday afternoons are tough, especially if the weather's nice. And but I thank you for taking some time to join me. And I hope you'll be back tonight in greater numbers even as we continue this closeout, 30-day closeout stream for Wraith of God Blood Hunters. Old Man says he just picked up cover C. Thank you so much, Old Man. Marcus says I'm sad for Garbage Man if he has no junk. That's unfortunate. Okay, you guys, thanks again. And wait a minute. Let's cut back to me. So anyway, it seems more sincere this way. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. You guys like and subscribe if you can. Go visit the campaign page. I'll be back in a few hours, and we'll probably do some more drawings. So thanks, guys. See you later. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and hope to see you later tonight.